we move beyond denialism, right? With Fox when it comes to COVID, we're on now to resent of those who have taken COVID seriously. Really, is what it is. It because the conservative mind does not work. None of their ideas work unless there is a significant amount of aggrievement. Right? That is the foundational aspect of conservatism. If you hear someone, like, you cannot have a conservative argument unless it's about some aggrievement that is being expressed. Here is Tucker Carlson, the multimillionaire, I don't know, billionaire, I don't know about Swanson Foods, heir, with multiple homes, who moved up to the furthest reaches of Maine during COVID. So it was real for him. Here he is now suggesting that you should literally SWAT people, call the police on people who are wearing masks.
We did give in. This grotesque version of Halloween went on for more than a year, and it's still going on. Not even Tony Fauci still pretends that masks are medically necessary. Instead, masks are purely a sign of political obedience, like Kim Il-sung pins in Pyongyang. We wear them because we have to. The only people who wear masks voluntarily outside are zealots and neurotics. How neurotic are they? Well, we know. A Pew survey from last March found that 64% of white Americans who classify themselves as liberal or very liberal have been diagnosed with an actual mental health condition. And you see them everywhere when you walk down the street in any major city. If you dare to go on foot from Union Station to the Capitol, for example, in Washington without wearing a mask, angry Biden voters will snort at you in judgment. How could you? They're saying from behind the gauze. How could you? That's the question we should be asking of them in return. The rest of us should be snorting at them first. They're the aggressors. It's our job to brush them back and restore the society we were born in. So the next time you see someone in a mask on the sidewalk or on the bike path, do not hesitate. Ask politely but firmly, would you please take off your mask? Science shows there is no reason for you to be wearing it. Your mask is making me uncomfortable. We should do that, and we should keep doing it until wearing a mask outside is roughly as socially accepted as lighting a Marlboro in an elevator. It's repulsive. Don't do it around other people. That's the message we should send because it's true. As for forcing children to wear masks outside, that should be illegal. Your response when you see children wearing masks as they play should be no different from your response to seeing someone beat a kid in Walmart. Call the police immediately. Contact Child Protective Services. Keep calling until someone arrives. What you're looking at is abuse. It's child abuse, and you are morally obligated to attempt to prevent it. If it's your own children being abused, then act accordingly. Let's say your kid's school emailed you to announce that every day after lunch, your sixth grader was going to get punched in the face by a teacher. How would you respond to that? That's precisely how you should respond when they tell you that your kids have to wear masks on the soccer field. That is unacceptable, it is dangerous, and we should act like it, because it is.
So there's so much going on there. He conflates outdoor mask wearing with indoor mask wearing throughout the video. He compares a child wearing a mask to getting punched in the face by a teacher. And I am flummoxed as to his commitment to personal freedom there. If someone desires to wear a mask, is he basically canceling them by calling the cops and infringing upon their personal freedom? And then, of course, just it's basically a badge, like they, to a Kim Il-sung badge or whatever he was trying to say there. And then goes after, he calls him Tony Fauci, the way he tries to go after Sandy Cortez. It's a way of belittling the science, etc. I mean, it's a greatest hits there by Tucker.
The amazing thing is look, and it's announced, I think as of today, the CDC is relaxing their guidelines on outdoor mask wearing if you're vaccinated. And then, of course, the non-vaccinated are going to take their masks off as soon as they see other people not wearing masks, which is exactly the point. And, we had on this program, Mark Alain Derry, and he maybe had him on 2 or 3 months ago. And he said, I had basically cut down, and he's an epidemiologist. He said, I had basically outdoors had more or less, stopped wearing masks around, at gatherings and this and that. He started up again when there were new strains that were a little bit more contagious. The fact is that they have probably known for a couple of months at least that outdoor mask wearing is at least, if you're distanced from people, is really not necessary. However, the point is, this is not about specific individuals. This is about how do you deal with a pandemic, which is a public health issue. If you want to know what is the efficacy, what is the value of wearing masks outdoors, where it may be unnecessary in terms of stopping transmission outdoors, all you need to do is listen to Tucker Carlson rant and rave about it, because his aggrievement that other people are doing this is exhibit A, that you can have an impact on people's behavior by signaling things. And the impact that medical experts want is that people take this seriously and wear the masks indoors. There is absolutely no, and there was a new study out today that showed that wearing masks indoors inhibits, doesn't totally eliminate, but inhibits the transmission of this virus. They understand now, which they did not understand as well 6 months ago, and 12 months ago, they had no idea, that the virus is aerosolized. Not so much, a function of the spit and the droppings that come out when you speak about, but it's aerosolized, and it is inhibited by wearing a mask. The 6 feet, 3 feet thing, they're going to ultimately find is not as much of an issue because it is aerosolized. Even the screen, that the plastic screen that we have in the office, largely irrelevant, except for the fact that we have multiple filters in the office that was sucking the air, and it was creating a direction of an airflow. This is all, information that has been developed over time, and people come to understand it. But the fact is that during a pandemic, the cost of of erring on the side of less caution versus more caution is dramatic. But we will have more to say about that at other times. We're out of time for today, folks. We will see you again tomorrow. For those of you sticking around, again, I just want to make this point clear, that the idea of erring on the side of more caution during a pandemic should be just obvious to everybody. And the fact that these lunatics are now having to move into this sort of notion of like, this isn't about, this is not analogous to the security theater that we have in going on planes, where we get searched to stop terrorists. This is about how do you get massive populations to behave in a way that is ultimately going to save lives during a state of semi-emergency, which is what a pandemic is. This isn't like, if we were going to live with the with COVID at the way it was a year ago for 25 years, and someone could tell you that, it'll slowly diminish. Of course, the response would have been different. But, one of the things, the reason why we lost the pandemic, David Wallace Wells has a great article on this, is because the West didn't take it seriously early enough. And I remember the days at the end of February and early March thinking should I be wearing a mask? And I didn't wear a mask until I saw somebody else wear a mask on the street, or two people. I mean, that is just, particularly in the West, we're just not comfortable wearing masks because we don't. in the Pacific, in Asian countries, mask wearing became far more socially acceptable. And that's how they were able to ramp up so quickly and prevent problems early on with COVID. It's because their population knew how to react to it. And here we have the absolute opposite. It's stunning to me that this guy, and he doesn't follow any of the stuff that he's saying. Yeah, he lives his life in a radically different way than any of the people who are watching him. And he knows it. And he is just so, he's so decrepit inside. It really is just stunning to me. And we're going to end up, I mean, police departments, schools, if someone's to go around and catalog all the calls that were being made because of what he just did. I mean, what a despicable human being. The harassment that he deserves is orders of magnitude beyond what the harassment that like teachers are going to get in schools.
He said kids wearing a mask is the same as a teacher beating or hitting the child, or if you see a child being beaten at Walmart.
It's nuts. It's nuts.
This is all about stoking that resentment.
Absolutely. It's all just, it's a grievance. It's a grievance.